Welcome to the Foul Front Podcast.
Welcome to the Foul Front Weekly After Action Review.
All right, welcome to the Foul Front Waterfowl Podcast Review number 12. I've been doing this thing for 12 weeks already. Well, I just want to thank you guys for all, listening, and I hope that you're finding it helpful. I wouldn't keep doing it if you all weren't listening to it like crazy. But anyways, you're going to see a couple format changes, not this week, but next week. And it might not be drastic or anything big, but I'm going to be incorporating some news and some noteworthy stuff that I think that you guys should check out yourself. Kind of helping, raise the rhetoric, helping you go investigate this thing, bringing it to the forefront of your mind, and really challenging you to go get after some conservation stuff that you might not be aware of. I'm going to be also compiling migration reports, and of course, still giving you the best podcasts out there to help you sort through it all. Also, probably going to be throwing in some video stuff too, highlighting some good videos that I saw that week, and things that I think it's important. All right, on to the honorable mentions. This week's honorable mentions, we've got the Tom Rowland podcast with Glenn Hausman, and we got Salt Strong's episode 131, Transforming At-Risk Youth Through Fishing. And then we've got Powder Hooks on Gravel podcast, the Hunting Collective. Damn, in the honorable mentions, my bad. This is a new one. And, I'll just get to it. We got Chad Belding's This Life Ain't For Everyone, which it really, he had a great guest on this week. And it really sparked this question, which led it on to the honorable mention. How do animals die? Think about it for just 1 second. How do animals die? Okay, it's not falling asleep in their bedding area and, peaceful, with its doe and fawn by its side. No, that's not how it happens. They usually, if they're not predated, they usually eat their teeth out, so they don't have any more teeth, and then they start starving, or they get sick or malnourished, and they either die a slow, horrible, painful death, or some coyote or some sort of other predator comes in, chunks them out. All right, that got pretty deep, pretty morbid, but anyways, roundabout thought on that is that, hey, we're not so bad when we shoot these ducks or we take out a deer or something like that. It's pretty giving the alternative it's a pretty slick way to die if you're a wild animal. All right, number 9, we've got Meat Eater. Episode 183, All for a Flashy Mule, where they sit down and talk with Clay Newcomb, who is apparently a mule enthusiast, and that's the thing. It really is. There's just a lot of general banter about the outdoors and anteater boots and all the things that you can make boots out of. Anyways, some mule deer talk in there. All right. Meat Eater, episode 183, All for a Flashy Mule. All right, at number 8, we've got, here, I won't ruin it for you. Let's go ahead and take a quick listen at number 8.
I did this a while back. I was on Foul Fronts podcast with Ben Page, and we went over a gear guide, and it was a pretty good podcast. It was a different magazine than this, and we went over it was pretty good. So I kind of stole the idea from Ben. But since he put this show on a number 3 of his top 8 podcasts.
What's up with that, Ben?
I guess we've been in 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing better? We're doing better. We moved up a little bit.
That's good. As long as we show progress.
And we're going to know, Ben, if you actually listen to the whole podcast, if you hear this part right here.
He doesn't listen.
We want number 1.
He doesn't listen.
number one. So no, I'm just giving you a hard time. So anyways,
You're
guys,
not first, you're last.
so let's, I want to give a big shout out too before we roll into this gear guide from the Delta Waterfowl magazine. A big shout out to
the Foul Front Waterfowl podcast review for putting the MVM show on the map. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I couldn't even keep a straight face. No, Titus from the MVM show and Mid-Valley Mercenaries comes on this week at number 8 to talk about Delta Waterfowl's gear guide issue, which is always great. People just absolutely eat up gear reviews and they love it. I think that's the best part, is that a lot of times you can get really into gear in some other pastimes, but in waterfowl hunting, the gear is absolutely essential. And Thomas, his brother, the host, who said that I don't listen to their show, Thomas sucks. I'm kidding again. All right. Moving on to number 7. We got the Lone Ducks Gun Dog Chronicles, episode 35, the Super Retriever series with Shannon Nardi. Super cool to see what goes into making these episodes and shows work, not to mention all the different components and factors that go into judging a dog in their like hunt field Super Retriever series set, because it's not just the regular competitions they do, and it's not just hunt tests. They do like 400-yard blinds, and they get crap for it because, it's not something that you would normally see in there. They want to know why you're testing that, and that stuff happens when you're hunting, says Shannon Nardi. So if you've ever been interested in seeing what it's like behind the scenes, or if you haven't heard of the Super Retriever series, well, you need to go Google that stuff right now and check it out, because it is some extremely entertaining stuff. All right, number 7, the Lone Ducks Gun Dog Chronicles, episode 35. All right, coming in at number 6, we got the Duck Gun Podcast with expert dog training advice from Chris Jobman of Flatlander Kennels. It is expert dog training advice from Chris Jobman of Flatlander Kennels. That is a very, very well written article. Title, Jordan. So head on over there if you have a new puppy, or if you just, you're right there on the edge and you're like, I don't really know what to do with my dog. Dude, this is the guy you want to talk to, Chris Jobman. All in all, I thought it was a great episode, and there was a lot of friendly and funny banter in there as well. All right, coming in at number 5, we've got The Warden's Watch by recently retired game warden Wayne Saunders, who sits down and talks with Jen Wolf from the Michigan DNR, who went from being one of those volunteer conservation officers that like help out during the weekends to being a full-blown, and if I'm going to be frank, a bad game warden. I cannot tell you how much I like this show. It is a must listen to if you are a hunter, and it's kind of fun because it's kind of like getting to sit in on the morning meeting of all of old green pants and see what's going on through their lens. So yeah, pretty slick. All right, hey, let's pull over real quick, and we're gonna get a migration report from a listener of the show.
This is Ty Hockett from Southwest Ohio. The one thing that I've noticed about scouting this year is the dove numbers are much higher than in previous years. In fact, I've seen more doves throughout the summer than any other summer that I could recall. So that should make dove hunting good, at least for the first few weeks. The goose numbers are about the same as previous years. Small family groups of 10 to 20 birds. Nothing that you can really pattern so far. There hasn't been any silage cut that I've been able to find. So finding them in fields has been pretty rare. The one interesting thing that I've noticed is the duck numbers are way up. Not only mallards, but wood ducks as well. I can't recall a August when I've seen as many wood ducks flying around as I have this year. That could be due to the cool down that we've had over the last week or two. But hopefully that holds for us and we can get on the birds in October.
Yeah, I am pretty nervous about heading up to Nebraska for dove season. I just saw them come, down through here. And honestly, if you can hear it in the background, which you probably won't because, I do audio cleanup. There's a bunch of thunder and lightning going on in the background. And we just had kind of a significant little front move through here. I'm really hoping that it brought more birds than it took away. At any rate, let's move on. I think we're number 4. Yeah, number 4. We've got the HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast with Sierra Langbell. Dude, as a dad, I just hope that my daughter someday is very similar to Sierra in these facts where she loves waterfowl hunting and she loves her dad and she just wants to spend time with him in the outdoors and kind of do her own thing as well. She is ate up with it and she works really hard, and it's a super awesome. How many times have I said super awesome? Yeah. Head on over. Dan and Josh did a great job with getting the information out of Sierra and letting her just kind of be an ambassador and kind of a leader of women in the outdoor space. So number 4, HP Outdoors Waterfowl Podcast with Sierra Langbell. All right, coming in at number 3, we've got the Joe Rogan Podcast with featuring Steven Rinella. Really important because Joe Rogan, his listeners, they're not primarily hunters. Some are, obviously, but hi, here I am. But Steve Rinella from Meat Eater on the Joe Rogan Podcast is an extremely powerful tool because it gets our message out there on a platform with somebody that people actually like and follow in Joe Rogan. So it's I think this is super important. They talk a lot about what it means to be a hunter, and it's almost like dueling conversationalists at the microphone at this point. So pretty awesome show. All right, coming in at number 2, we've got the Big Honker Podcast with Wyman Menzer, the most interesting man in Texas. On one hand, he's given George W. Bush some positive feedback on the ex-president's paintings in his home. And then on the other hand, he's photographing a property somewhere out there where he's getting, ate up by mosquitoes and chiggers and all that other stuff. And he's documenting a billion dollar game ranch. And he's a Texas national photographer and resident cool and interesting dude. So yeah, number 2, the Big Honker Podcast with Wyman Menzer. Okay, coming at number 1.
Number 1, guys.
Not first, you're last.
We've got Remy Warren's Cutting the Distance, episode number 4, the story of Stubby McNubbin. Listen, I've never hunted an elk a freaking day in my life, but I feel like if Remy keeps this podcast going, that's not going to matter when I go out next fall, and I'm going to be all tuned up and ready to go. So maybe it's a stretch, but I love the way that Remy breaks down the lessons learned, and damn it, if it ain't entertaining, I want to go mess up Bull Elk's day up by making him think I'm taking all of his ladies from him as I'm sitting from an uphill advantage, and then have him charge me and put an arrow in him. Listen to the episode, and you'll know what I'm talking about. This is what a podcast should definitely be about. All right. Well, hey, guys, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for sticking around. Next week, we're going to have a lot more conservation, a lot more scouting reports, and it's going to be, as the kids say, lit. But for now, I guess I'll just see you next week. All right. Thank you.